Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to work on another problem from HackerRank. So this video is again in continuation with the already ongoing HackerRank series. So today we are going to work on another problem from data structure section, and today we are going to solve the problem Java ArrayList. So before we move on to this problem, if you are new to my channel, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. It's a simple and easy red button that you have to hit, and you don't have to pay for it, but it will motivate me enough for making like a lot of videos for you guys. So let's see what this problem says. So here we can see they have represented what ArrayList is and why do we use it. So they have just simplified it as dynamic size arrays, which is appropriate. And then they have this problem, and problem is like they will give us n what you can say n arrays, right? So or n lines. So they will give us n lines. So here we have 5 lines, which comprises to this much. So if you count, these are 5 lines, and the first of every line is going to be the number or the count of the elements going to be inside an array. So this is an array and it comprises like 5 elements, so that's how we have 5 here we have 1, and so forth, right? Till here we have everything sorted. Now we have another count, which is like queries. So they have this q queries, right? And this denotes to like on which line and which element do we have to print. So this represent that we have to go to the first line. So this is our first line, not this one. This is the count. So this is the first line. So here we have to get the third element. Now when we say third element, we know that the indexing starts from 0 in Java, but here in this problem that doesn't mean that. So here when they say third element, they mean that 77. So 1 is 5, 41, and then 77, right? So we have to take in account like this is also stated, and so forth we have to calculate. But in case let's say this is the empty line and this is the fourth line. So here they are asking us to print the third element of the fourth line, but here we don't have anything. So in that case we just have to print error. So I won't explain much because I'm assuming everyone knows about list and ArrayList, and it's like a very common data structure. So I'll just move forward to the logic and I'll explain this in the easiest way possible, right? So here we have to get the input first, but see this, we have to know that these many lines are going to be there and these many arrays are going to be there, keeping this first element aside, right? So it shows us that we have to keep either a list of array or a list of list. Both we can do. So here I'm going to move forward with list of list because that seems appropriate to me, right? So as they are all numbers, so integer would suffice, and then I'll just say list of list. So why I'm creating this? Because we have to hold on to the values, right? Otherwise what's the meaning of this? So now we have the array list. Now we have to fill this. So to fill this we have to get the input from the user. So to do that we will be using scanner. So I'll just create an instance. Okay, now we have the instance. Now what we have to do is, first we have to gather the number of lines we are going to get, and then we are going to get these many values, right? I selected the wrong portion, these many values. So what we will do is we will just do a variable n and do sc.nextInt. So this is going to hold the number of lines for us. Now we will iterate over n where I equals to 0 and I is less than n. So these this will be our iteration, and what we will do is, till this loop is iterating, we are going to get hold of the values. Now we are not going to get the values, rather we are just going to get a line. So what we have to do is we have to know that this is the number of element in a line. So we then have to grab this number, and this number can be denoted by D. So what we will do is, inside each and every loop we have to gather this first of every line, right? We have to take in account. So we will do int d equals to sc.nextInt, right? So here we have got the first line and first element of that line. Now if I try to print this, I can show you guys why I am doing this. So if I run this, so here you can see that what we have got is we have output as 5, 41, 77, 74 and 22. And let's see here, we have 5 here, and then we have 41, then we have 77, so forth. So we have got the first line, right? And that's okay. We got the first line and that's okay. But what we have to do is we have to get the first line, and then we have to get the first element of that line, so that we can know that okay, these many elements are going to be in that line, so that we can iterate again, so that we can create either an array or a list, right? So that's why we had to get this value. Now we have this value, so what we will do is we will just iterate over D now. So I'll just do int j equals to 0, j less than D, and j plus plus. And here if I try to print this, you will make sense. So here let me do print, and let's have some spaces, and after this we have to change the line. So here you will see that we are getting each and every line like we wanted. So here if you see, we have here 5, that means that there are going to be 5 numbers. Here we have 1, that means only 1, so on. So we in our array, it should only contain 41, 77 until 44, right? It should not contain 5, and that's what we wanted. And here if you see, we got that. Here we have empty because we have empty, right? And that is what we needed. Now we just here, instead of printing, we just have to hold these values in a list, and that is what we will do. So what we will do is we will create an instance here, right? Now we will fill this while we are iterating. We will fill this through nextInt. Now we have the list, but we have to have a list of lists, so that we can have all these. So this comprises a single list or a single array, and this is our second one, third one, fourth, and so on. Like we will get n number of lists in our case. So that means that we have to hold all of these lists into a single container, which again means a list. So that's why we needed list of list, and that's the agenda here. So here, instead of doing system.out.println, we will simply do list of list.add, and here we will do list. So now we have each and everything. So if you try to we have already tried to print, so we know that it is going to contain each and everything. Now what we have to do is we have to fetch the data. So to fetch the data, first we need to know how many number of queries are going to be there. So similarly, like we did for n, we will do for q. Q means that how many queries are we going to get. So we will do sc.nextInt, and here we are getting queries. Now we will going to iterate again, because that's how it works. Alright, so I equals to 0, I less than q, and I plus plus. Now here we know that there are going to be only two numbers. That's predefined because they have already specified us that they are going to be two integers, right? So we don't have to care anything. So we will just do int x equals to sc.nextInt. The first number has been fetched, and then y equals to sc.nextInt. Now we have both the numbers, but what do they mean? So x is the number of line, like the index of the list that we have to get, and y is the index of the element inside that list, right? So first we will get the line, meaning the list. But if we do x, remember indexes starts from 0 in Java. So if we do x, we are going to get an array out of bound exception, right? So we have to do -1 because when they say line number 1, Java recognize it as index 0. So if we just do -1, that neutralizes everything. So we just now got the list or the line where we have to get the element, and here we will just do y to get the element -1, right? So now we have the element. So here we can directly do system.out.println, or you can hold on to this variable, but according to me you can directly print it. But problem is, what if we don't get that number? So in this case we are not getting any number because line number 4 is empty. So in that case we have to print this stupid thing. So in that case we have to think, like, what will Java do in case it is not able to find that particular line or index? It is going to throw an exception. So here comes exception handling. So what we will do is we will just do try here, and we will put this because here only we are trying to fetch the data. So this is the only line where we are going to get an exception, right? And here we will catch the exception. Now you can do two things. You can be very specific of the exception, or you can directly use exception, right? So in case you are getting an exception, what you have to do, you just have to print this thing, right? Otherwise we just have to print the data, meaning this. So we'll just do system.out.println, right? So this is the code that we have to write. I am assuming like it was clear. If not, you can ask your query in the comment section. Now let's try to run this code. Okay, so compilation error, cannot find symbol, list of list. Okay, stupid me. Okay, let's run now. So it's working fine, right? So this was the easiest code. Now there could be more optimization that you can do. Like it's according to you, but this is the easiest solution, and it will make you grasp some basic knowledge of ArrayList, or scanner, exception handling, things like that. So now let's try to submit this code. So everything is good with this, right? So this was it for this video. I hope I was able to teach you something, or maybe something new or a way. So if I did something like that, do not forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will meet you in the next video. Till then, have a good day, stay safe, and bye bye.